everybody? Henry Johnson, back at it again here from Digital Home. And today, I want to talk to you a little off the cuff. So, over the past week, I've received, I think it's about 3 or 4 phone calls from people who just bought new development apartments in New York City. And I get the same question over and over is, it's a new development apartment. It doesn't have any smart home technology. What can I do? So I thought it'd be interesting to do a quick few tips on things that I think are interesting to add to a new development in terms of smart home technology, and what I'm seeing people actually looking for and actually implementing. So I think the first one, and one that really stands out, especially in terms of the New York City market from new development, is looking at doing automated shades. If you look at the trends in terms of what's happening with a lot of the new development in New York City, a lot of very large windows, a lot of natural light. That's a big trend. But with that comes the challenge of, making sure the lighting makes sense for the way that you're living, right? If you're getting dressed, you probably don't want there to be open, window without any shades on it. And sadly, the way we operate with shades as people normally is, if you have shades today, you either always keep them closed or you always keep them open. You're not maneuvering your shades on a day-to-day basis. Having automated shades gives you a little more flexibility around that, so that you're not always having to do it, right? So being able to set up things like, okay, I want the shades to automatically come up at 6 in the morning, because that's when I wake up, and it'll be nice to wake up to natural light, and go down at 8 p.m. every night, because that's when I'm winding down. I may be watching TV. I don't want any glare. I don't want people looking into my apartment, so on and so forth. So that'd be my number one in terms of New York City new development, smart home technology that make a lot of sense. Number 2, and this one's a little tougher, just because if you're in a new development, the walls are probably closed already, at least by the time you move in or by the time you close. I find with most of the people we've discussed is the walls will be closed by the time they move in. So adding music is a little tougher, because to do speakers, you really need to run speaker wire to them, to the speakers to get the best sound and to get the best reliability. So I still recommend doing it. I think people really like having music throughout their homes, whether that's in their bathroom, at least the master bedroom bathroom, when you're getting ready, doing like a surround room within like the living room, having music within the kitchen. I've been talking to everybody who called me from a new development about this, and although we do have to open the walls to do it, it makes a lot more sense to do it now rather than waiting until, a few years down, right? You're moving in, do it now. We'll close up all the walls and have everything back to normal for you to live the way you want to live. And I'll stop with number 3, and I'll just do these 3 is doing smart lighting system. Smart lighting is really easy to implement, right? You don't have to go into the walls. There's not much in terms of construction that needs to happen. Really, all it is changing out the dumb light switches for smart light switches. But it gives you a lot more capabilities around it, in that you can set up things like having an all-off button at the exit of the door. You can set up different dimming settings for whether when you're entertaining, whether you're watching a movie or you're just hanging out and cooking. So it just gives you a lot more flexibility around the way you live, and seeing that to be something that a lot of people are finding interesting in terms of putting into their new developments. And then the last thing, I know I said the last one was the last thing, but I think this one kind of encompasses them all, is doing some kind of automation system that encapsulates everything, so that you don't have now an app for your shades, an app for your lights, an app for your music, and then if you want to do door locks or you want to do anything else, you have more apps and more apps and more apps. Having an app like Savant, which is what we tend to recommend, allows you to wrap everything into one, so that you can control your music, your lights, your TV, your cameras if you guys have them. Maybe you have babies or something like that. You want to put cameras throughout the house. Control everything throughout that one app. So that's a lot more seamless. And a lot more elegant, right? So if you're going to be moving into this nice new property that's in New York City, it gives you a lot more. It works a lot better with the way that you're going to live. So just wanted to talk about that. It's been on my mind. Like I said, a lot of people are reaching out to us in regards to making their new developments smart. So figured it'd be nice to give a few tips on what I'm seeing people doing and what I think are really important. So again, that's smart automated shades. That's music zones throughout the house, and then lighting systems. And then obviously there's a lot of other things you can think about. I heard I mentioned locks. You probably heard of smart thermostats. Those are all things you can think about too. And then encapsulating it all into one application so that you can make it nice and easy to control. All right, everybody, you have a good one. And that's Henry Johnson again from Digital Home. And as always, talk to me in the comments if you guys are interested in learning more, or my contact information is always right there. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.